Welcome to Radiant in Real Life. I'm your host, Beth Medley, and we are a community of women focused on becoming radiant in life, leadership, and the pursuit of Jesus. Hey friend, I'm so glad you're here. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I am going to talk to you today a little bit about gratitude. And I know that this one gets talked about a lot, but I actually have a little bit of a different spin on it. I went to a local women's networking group event, and I was asked to be on a panel of speakers, and this was in November, so of course gratitude was our topic, but they actually titled it like support system gratitude. It was a very different kind of title, and like one of the interview questions had to do with building a support system of gratitude, and one of the other speakers was even like, I don't even know what this means. I mean, the other ones of us were kind of like, we had to wrestle with that too, because it was very different. It's a very different way of thinking about gratitude, because we do think about support systems and how we can build those for ourselves, and some people naturally have more of a support system than others, depending on where you are with your family or your friends or your local church community or whatever that might look like. But gratitude as a support system isn't always, that didn't really connect for a little bit there. So I want to talk about that. So we need to cultivate gratitude in our hearts. Like, this is a biblical principle. We know that it's true. We don't see it as like a tool always though. And it really is, I believe, a gift from God that He gave us as a tool. In Psalm 100, it literally says that we enter His courts with thanksgiving. We enter His presence with gratitude. And I really believe so much of us experiencing God happens in our mind. And when we turn our minds toward God in whatever fashion, whether that's gratitude or praise or just thinking about and contemplating His worthiness, like that's where we're going to enter in His presence, right? And in God's presence, that's where all the good stuff happens. It's where like everything that you need is, right? It's where all the peace, all the joy, all the patience, all the kindness, all the love, like all of the fruit of the Spirit is embodied right there in the presence of God. And so if there is actually something I can engage in intentionally to enter God's presence, I'll want to do that. This is going to have varying amounts of difficulty with us depending on where we are in our culture, both like our national culture, our family culture, our church culture, our work culture. It can be really against the grain to cultivate gratitude in our hearts, because every time we have a thought, we build and strengthen a neural pathway, right? Every time I go down a thought path, I'm making that stronger. So it's going to be easier and easier for me to take that path again and again the more that I do it. So if I'm in a grumbling mode, right, and I actually just studied Exodus in my community Bible study class this past year, and oh my goodness, Israelites were grumblers, y'all. I love them so much because I see so much of myself in them. Like, they were constantly grumbling, and then like some, plague would come along, or you got some, rebellion starting, and then God like strikes them all out. Oh my goodness. Okay, my kids, they do these amazing snacks at CVS. This is totally like sidebar, but I'm cracking up about it because they always have the snacks fit whatever is going on in the Bible study lesson. And with Korah, literally the ground broke open and like all of the people like fell into the earth, and they had them put Teddy Grahams and stuff them deep into some chocolate pudding, y'all. I'm not even kidding. So they're gonna keep that in their mind. Korah's rebellion. Oh, that was totally a sidebar. I hope that was okay that I shared that with you. Maybe it brought a little joy to your life. But Korah was not cultivating gratitude in his heart. Like, literally, they saw all these incredible, miraculous works of God sustaining them in the desert, manna every day, and even the manna by itself is incredible. Like, those who gathered a lot had enough, and those who gathered a little had enough. It was just enough. It was exactly what they needed. So if we can keep our hearts and our minds in this gratitude mindset, in this gratitude place, then what we gather is going to be enough. Whether we gather a lot or whether we gather a little, it's about just bringing what we have. So I want to ask you, what are your gratitude strategies? Okay, what are your gratitude strategies? And there are like a million of them. And God is so creative, and he's so creative within his people. I really actually want you to answer this question. So please go to my Instagram or my Facebook, find the gratitude post, and I want you to post your gratitude strategies on there because we can learn from each other. I know that I've heard about gratitude jars. I keep a note in my phone because that's the easiest thing for me to reach in the morning when I'm underneath 3 children. I have a friend that told me that every time she felt the wind on her face, that was like a signal to her from God to turn her heart towards the Lord and just be grateful for something. And even a newer friend that told me that she lived in China for a long time and couldn't see the sky because of the pollution. And so when she got home to Texas, because that's where I am and we love it deep in the heart here, she told me that when she saw the blue sky, that her heart was just so filled with gratitude for God. And I'm just so moved by that. So I want to know, what are your gratitude strategies, and how can I support you in that? What can we do as a community to really make sure we're cultivating gratitude in our hearts? Thank you for listening to our episode today. Hit that subscribe button and leave us a review. So I have one last question before you go. How are you going to radiate this week? In life, in leadership, or in your pursuit of Jesus?